So let's be very honest. Economy today not doing the best. And these are the two reasons why. Number one, there is an inflation. And what this basically means is that 200 or 300 ringgit, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, can buy you maybe a whole bag of groceries. But that being said, today, that same amount of money can only buy you half that amount of groceries. And part of the reasons why is that, number one, the food prices has already gone up. This could be rice, vegetables, chilies, so on and so forth. And on top of that, right now, every time when we use electricity and also water, the prices of those things has already gone up. So all in all, cost of living has gone up. And the second reason why is that with the increase in a lot of raw materials and increase with a lot of things, what tends to happen is that businesses right now will need to figure out ways to cut costs. And one of the most common ways that they are cutting costs right now is to either give their staff less bonuses. Number two is maybe giving them less increment. And the third, the more scarier part, is laying off their staff members. So all in all, right now, this is a very scary situation. So I think one of the best ways to actually overcome and also thrive in this economy is to maybe stop buying things and start buying assets. And one of the reasons why is that when we buy assets, this will help increase our cash flows. And I think one of the examples is during our parents' and also our grandparents' time, what they used to do was they would save up and maybe buy another house. And upon retirement, what will happen is that the second house would give them recurring cash flows. And once they retire, they can actually have cash flows from that particular assets. That being said, in today's economy, when job security is maybe no longer there, I would highly suggest that we start accumulating assets. That way, if we were to maybe lose our jobs, our assets can actually give us cash flow to cushion any shortfall in cash. So these are the three ways I would highly suggest a beginner to start this particular journey. Number one is to have a strong reasons. Only with strong reasons, this will help give us motivation towards taking the action. And quite honestly, right now, living in a consumer-driven society, we are filled with amazing gadgets. We are filled with amazing restaurants. There's just so many places to travel to, right? And on top of that, while scrolling through social media, we can see a lot of influencers talking about these things. So there's so many distractions towards helping us save. So I think one of the ways for us to really start is to have a strong reason. Only with strong reason, this will help give us motivation. Second thing I would highly suggest is to start small and start simple. I know most budgeting advice is the 50-30-20. And part of the reasons why I don't like the 50-30-20, say assuming we are a fresh grad and we are earning about 3,000 and 50% of which is about 1,500. Quite honestly, 1,500 to live in a city where we have to pay rental, we have to pay for the transport back and forth to the office, to pay food, to pay electricity, to pay water, so on and so forth. Doesn't seem too possible. And honestly, as we even grow older, right, maybe we have kids in our 30s or 40s, we now not only have to take care of ourselves, but we have to take care of kids and also our parents. And honestly, 50% of our overall salary, to do that seems a bit of a stretch. So therefore, to start saving, I would highly suggest that we start with something comfortable we are doing. If we cannot do 20%, maybe do 10%. And if we cannot do 10%, we just do 5%. Honestly, to start is the most important. And if we can start with 10 ringgit, that will be even better. And let me give you a personal example of mine. Me, I like to take the Grab, Uber, or maybe the taxi back and forth to the office. And it's comfortable and it brings you from one point to the next point. That being said, if I take the mass public transport, I will save a fair bit of money. So lately, after reminding myself the power of saving and also investing, what I have been doing is I've been taking the mass public transport. And with that, I save about 20 ringgit per day. And 20 ringgit, if we multiply it by 30 days, that will be 600 ringgit per month. And if we were to multiply it in 1 year, that would be about 7,000 ringgit. And in 10 years, it will be about 70,000 ringgit. That's the power of just changing one small habit. And the third and the most important thing is after we have saved, please invest that money. If we do not invest that money, basically what's happening is inflation is eating into our purchasing power. So what we want to do is to have better returns than the inflation. Say if the inflation is about 3 or 4%, what we want to do is to find assets which gives us about 5 to 10%. That way, we are not only hedging ourselves against the inflation, but we are also building wealth. So remember, don't buy things, rather buy your freedom.